One of the happiest greetings that you can get is the phrase, welcome home. You know, when you've been away from home for a long time, traveling on vacation, maybe away at school, on another assignment, and finally, the place that was really home for you, when somebody's there to say, welcome home, there's a certain feeling that comes with that can't be matched in any other context at all. And so now this weekend, we're going to be able to start saying, welcome home to Holy Name Church. That's a beautiful phrase that we're going to be saying to everybody who is welcomed to come through the doors starting this weekend. Now, as happy as we are to be able to say that, we do need to talk about how this welcome is going to look and feel to you when it is time for you to be welcomed back. You've already heard through the announcement that I made at Mass last weekend, the bishop's announcement, and probably other sources by the time you see this video, that although we are free to open our churches for the public celebration of Mass and to welcome folks back to the pews, we need to do this in a very cautious way and in a very systematic way. So I just want to say, since there will come a time, and maybe you already have been called to say we're ready to welcome you back to church, what do you expect? How is this all going to look for you? So that's just spend a few minutes on this video talking about that. First of all, although we are able to open our doors and welcome people back into church, we cannot and we will not simply open the doors and say, everybody just come on in. We can't do that. We still have to limit the numbers of people that are coming into this church because we need to maintain social distancing. We need to make sure that there's enough space between households and individuals that we have that safety. And so what that means is, based on a formula we were given, we know exactly how many people we can welcome into our church for Sunday Mass. That number is 62. Yes, 62 people can be here to celebrate Mass. And we wonder, well, how are those 62 going to be welcomed and invited? As I said, we are not simply going to throw open the doors and say, first come, first serve. That's not going to work. There'll be chaos outside and plenty of ill will, I'm sure, for those who hope they'd be able to come in and would not be able to simply because we cannot accommodate them in our space. So working with the parish staff here and with the parish council, we've agreed on a system that will look something like this. How do you go about knowing that it's your time to be welcomed back to church? First of all, you will be contacted by somebody from the parish staff. As we look at the schedule of Masses and look at the people who are ready to come, you will be contacted. So do not contact us and say, hey, I'll be there at 7 o'clock on Sunday. No, instead, somebody from the staff will call and say, we're going to be able to welcome you this weekend or next weekend, and say, got a spot for you, let's get it ready. Once that all begins, people are wondering who gets called and on what basis. We realize that although many of us have just been longing for a chance to get all of us together again and come to receive the Eucharist, which we've been away from for such a long time, there are some of our parishioners who have a special longing for this moment. Those are our children celebrating their first Holy Communion. They've been waiting for 2 years for this day. Many of them already have their outfits bought, and Lord knows we can't have them outgrow them as quickly as children grow up. So the first welcome calls we're going to be making, indeed they've already begun, is with our families whose children are prepared to receive First Holy Communion, so that the day they've longed for can come to them. Beyond that, then, we'll simply start looking at our various parish lists and looking at the number that we can accommodate and begin calling people to say, this is the time to welcome you. Here's the date and time. What's not likely to happen is you may not get your preferred Mass time. Everybody likes 9 o'clock. 7 o'clock is the smallest group. But some of the 9 o'clock folks may have to come to 7 if that's where the space is. You will probably not be able to sit in your own favorite spot in your favorite pew, because we will have to work out how we arrange everybody so that there's social distance. Be patient with us. Once that happens, you get the call. This is the time when we're able to welcome you home. Are you ready to come? Please understand that if you get that call, you don't have to say, yes, we'll be there. If for any reason you feel, I just don't think we're ready yet. Maybe somebody's not feeling well at home. If you're not feeling well at home, please don't come. On the other hand, if you say, yeah, I think we're ready, then we'll mark down how many people in your household are coming. Please do not bring guests beyond your normal group that you come to Mass with. Don't call Uncle Fred over there in Chicago and Aunt Sally over in Crete and say, hey, we got in a church, come join us. This is for our own people, right? Our folks. Once you get the call, and we'll say, all right, how many people are coming in your household to join you on this invitation? Then we'll set a place aside in the pews for you. We need you to arrive about a half hour before Mass. A lot of folks are unaccustomed to coming early, but we have a little bit of a process we have to go through on getting into church. Don't come before a half hour in advance, because we'll have been cleaning the church to get ready for you. Please be on time, though, because once Mass starts, we're going to be closing the doors, locking them up, so that we don't have people coming in and exceeding our numbers. Once you get here, you'll be greeted by somebody outside the church who will welcome you home, and we'll check your name to see, are you on the list for that weekend, for that Mass. If so, you'll be invited to come into the vestibule, where somebody will make sure that you have one of these on. You will be encouraged and invited to sanitize your hands at the station there, and one of our parish nurses will take your temperature. If your temperature is a little high, they'll give you a chance to cool off. If it doesn't, you're going to be sent back home and maybe to your doctor. Once you're invited in, please follow the instructions of the ushers who will seat you. Then Mass begins. During the course of Mass, there will be no hymnals. There will be no taking up of the collection basket. You're invited to leave your offering in a basket in the back of the church, simply dropping it in. At communion time, you need to come forward 6 feet apart from each other to come and receive communion. It'll take a little while. There will be no communion cup offered to you. Only the priest and the deacon will be distributing communion. There'll be a reminder that when you come for communion, you need to come with both of your hands open and extended out as far as you can get them, and wide open so that the priest or deacon can place the Blessed Sacrament on your open hand. Please don't come up with your hands all curled up close to you. We just may not know how you want to receive this Eucharist. You'll be reminded to extend forward. When you're receiving communion, you will take your mask off, but the priest and deacon will put our masks on to make sure that we don't accidentally expose unknowingly to this virus. Once Mass is over, final adaptation we need to make is you'll be dismissed by rows and family groups. We just can't all mob out into the vestibule and hang out and talk. We need to be systematically brought out of the church. It's going to be great to be back together. If anybody has any questions, please email us, if you can, at the parish offices. Please wait until you are contacted for the Mass time. You will be welcomed. It'll be good to see you. When you get that call, somebody will direct you to check this video as a reminder of how to prepare. It'll be good to see you. There will come a time when all of us can fill our pews and be close to one another and hear each other sing, and hug each other, greet each other's children. Until that day, this is how we're going to be gathering together. And remember, the Lord said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in His name, there He is. He is already present among us. We look forward to seeing you soon. Welcome home.